Good evening, everybody. My name is Kelly Huff Rogers, and I have the pleasure of being one of the chaplains for the Police and Fire Department of Scarsdale. Over the last year, I've had the distinct pleasure and truly an honor to get to know the Sheehan family. I've known Francis for a long time, but getting to know the better-looking Francis, which is how he signs all of his emails and texts, and Christine and her family as well, has been an utter joy, because I have to say, when you meet a family who lives their entire life surrounded by love and community, it's an inspiration for how we all want to be and how we all should be. For the fact that we're gathering a year on from the tragic passing of Millie and Diana, it's a testament to who they are, the love that they shared, the peace that they brought, and the fact that they were community builders as well. All of you have been touched by their lives and are part of their community, and we're just so grateful that you're here for this very special occasion. We have a lot of dignitaries here with us tonight, and to introduce our dignitaries, I'd like to bring up Ellen Hendricks.
Good evening, everybody, and thank you for being here on this occasion. It's an important one that we all show our love for. And I have a long list of names. If I've left anyone out, please forgive me. So we have with us Assembly Member Mary Jane Shimsky, Legislator Jewel Williams Johnson, Councilwoman Joy Haber, Town Clerk Lisa Maria Nero, Supervisor Paul Feiner. We have several fire chiefs here. Thank you. We have Hartsdale Fire Chief Ray Uceda. We have Hartsdale Fire District Commissioner Rob Iamonico. And if I said it wrong, I always stumble on it. I apologize. And then we have the Scarsdale Fire Chief, Chris Medic. Did I say that right, Chris? Okay, close enough? Thank you. We have the Leah Jackson Principal, Patricia Simone. Thank you all for being here. From Greenberg, we have half the staff here. It's a good thing this is in the evening because we'd have to shut the town down. We have Greenberg Parks and Rec Commissioner Joe Lucchese, Greenberg Town Attorney Joe Danko. We have Deputy Town Attorney Amanda Magana. We have the Greenberg DPW Commissioner Rich Fahn, Greenberg Department Community Resources Terrence Jackson, Greenberg Cable Access Director Terrence Brosnan, and thank you, Terrence, he's filming this now. We have Greenberg Building Inspector and the DPW Deputy Commissioner Frank Morabito, Deputy Commissioner Liz Garrity, and let me see who else. We have ECC President Dylan Pine, and going down, I must also commend the Greenberg Greenberg Assessor Edie McCarthy, the Human Rights Committee Co-Chair Lane Cobb, and I skipped around because I was trying to put it all together, so now I'm probably missing people, and even though if I have them on here, so please forgive me.
David Warner.
Yes, I'm sorry, David Warner from the school board. Thank you. Tracy Mayer, thank you.
This is why we gave you that job.
The Greenberg Town Democratic Chair, Steve Bass, is here as well. And, you know, we're one big family. We really are. And I thank you all for being here. Francis, who is really the family man.
And I also want to thank News 12. They really are as local news can get. And I thank you for being here. This means a lot to us. I'm not good about getting through these things, but I'm going to give it my best shot. Just a little bit of history, mostly about Millie and the school district and Lee F. Jackson and why this street was selected. But Millie and I were married in 1981. We moved to Hartsdale in 1983 into a starter house that needed a lot of work. We both worked full time, and Millie gave birth to Christine in 1987. I'm outing your ages here. And Francis in 1989. I didn't really have to read that. Soon after, Millie became increasingly involved in the Greenburgh Central School District, becoming a parent coordinator, president, and policy committee co-chair in 1991, and an endless subsequent slew of involvement. Millie's rise through the Greenburgh Central School District started as a teaching assistant in 1993, bilingual associate social worker, bilingual school psychologist intern, pre-K through 6 certified teacher, to school psychologist, having earned her MS in bilingual school psychology along the way. She received her degrees and certifications from Baruch, LIU, and Mercy College, building friendships along the way. In 1995, Millie's father died, and in 2005, in our 1,400 square foot, 3-bedroom ranch, lived Millie, me, our 2 teenage children, my mother, and my mother-in-law. Millie deserves sainthood. I believe she has it right now. Right. For more than 2 decades, Millie has had an unwavering devotion to the students in the Greenburgh Central School District, tearfully and reluctantly retiring the year before last as school psychologist so she could provide more home care for her mother, my mother-in-law. While at the high school, she even gave guidance to students after hours and beyond graduation. Greenburgh Central School District students, especially those in need, had a special place in her enormous heart. Millie went with me to a Theatre de Young Community Center jazz concert, and I asked her, I've been out all week, how about coming with me to the jazz concert? And she said, okay. And I learned very quickly that she wasn't with me, I was with her. I experienced once again how many Greenburgh Central School District students and parents she helped. Students she helped get services they need, students who then went on to get not only their high school diploma, but also their college degrees, which we learned from parents visiting our home since the accident that they did not think it was possible without Millie's intervention that they would get those degrees. At Millie and Diana's wake, we heard stories about Millie being an excellent teacher, an advocate for students needing special needs, and when Millie advocated, Millie got the services for those children. The parents could not praise Millie enough. Millie's impact on the district was heard repeatedly. In fact, when I got there, immediately parents came up to Millie crying about how helpful she was to get their children the services. And what was even more remarkable at that jazz concert is somebody who was now up and through college who came back specifically because they knew there was a jazz concert. They knew that there was a possibility that Millie was going to be there because I told everybody. And it was remarkable that the young children were hugging her legs while the parents were hugging Millie. What more could a person say? And what kind of a legacy does that make? As almost everyone knows, she was Nana to our four cherished grandchildren, Caden, Saoirse, Ashlyn, and Kiernan. The children were the light of her life, and her warm, nurturing spirit touched them each day in ways that will forever shape their lives, even though they may not fully remember them. Millie was known for her endless patience, warm hugs, beautiful smile, and ability to truly listen to others and understand what they were trying to say, even when they couldn't express what they wanted to say with words, being so young, the children. Millie was Millie. No last name was necessary. She was also a wonderful cook to our typical 11-member family at dinner. She always had pancakes at the table for the grandchildren every morning. She was also a cancer survivor. She endured the surgery, a month of radiation that burned her. She finished her 6 years of post-radiation medication. A year before she passed, she received another clean-up health shortly before the accident. All looked good. The future was bright. Last August, Millie and I went to Puerto Rico, overseeing the house we have there, which was undergoing repairs because of the hurricane the prior 2 years. We were delighted that we were finally getting the house set so that when we come back next year, that we could just relax. And then our world, with so much promise, collapsed. I want to read to you what I wrote to Millie when she came home, crying from her retirement, because she loved the children. She loved the district, and she wanted to serve. But she had a higher purpose, and that was taking care of her mom, which is what we do in my family. And now I'm taking care of her mom. This is what I wrote to her. Welcome home, full time, my love. You have given your all to the Greenberg Central School District, starting as a PTA, pre-K chair, to a teaching assistant, to a bilingual associate social worker, to school psych intern, to school psychologist, CSE member and chair. You have done it all as a parent, staff, and administrator. As expected, you were all in. Even giving your cell phone number to students who needed help at 2 a.m. And they called. You listened, you cared, you helped. When necessary, arranging for them to have a safe place to stay. Most times, they just needed to talk to somebody who cared. That was Millie. You have helped countless students, and I love you for it. It is you being you. It will take time for you to adjust as your honey-do list grows. And I was helping write it. Keep in mind, you are not ending a meaningful career. You are beginning to live. And that lasted for 14 months. I want to thank the town board, Supervisor Paul Feiner, council members Joy Haber, Ellen Hendricks, Gina Jackson, who couldn't be here today because she has a work commitment in Syracuse, but she's going to be on phone. I didn't leave anybody out, did I? I don't think so. For bestowing this naming of the Saratoga Road. It's so meaningful because Millie started her experience with the Greenberg School District at this school, and she ended her experience at the Greenberg School District at this school. And there's a saying that goes that a person doesn't die when they take their last breath. They die when they're no longer remembered. That's not going to be the case. This sign, hopefully, will be looked at by children. Maybe they'll ask about Millie, and it'll be explained about her legacy, her dedication, her commitment to helping others, and give them some inspiration to do the same every time they come through this street. So I'm going to end here in a moment, and then my daughter is going to say something, Christine, and then my son, Francis, who didn't realize he had to say something. He doesn't have to. He didn't have to, but he will. And then we're going to open it for anyone else who might want to say something. Christine?
So I'll start by saying I'm not as good of a speaker as my dad, but I did write a few words, and so we didn't read each other's speeches, so there might be a little bit of an overlap. But good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming. It is with immense pride and deep emotion that I stand before you today to honor someone whose life's work has left an indelible mark on the Greenberg Central School District, my mother. From 1993 to 2023, my mom dedicated 3 decades of her life to this community. Though she originally pursued a degree in accounting, everything changed when she had my brother and me. She poured her heart into raising us and found her true calling in education, not through textbooks, but through compassion, service, and unwavering belief in the potential of every child. Her journey began humbly at Leaf Jackson Elementary, which was Juniper Hill at the time, as a noon aide and a PTA member. From there, she became a teaching assistant, a social worker, and eventually a school psychologist and CPSE, CSE chairperson. She wore many hats, but in every role, she was a fierce advocate for students and families. I had the privilege of walking the same hallways she did during the early years of her career. I saw the joy on children's faces, many of them my friends, as she served them lunch with a smile. I heard stories of her creative teaching methods and the warmth she brought to small group instruction at Highview. Later, I witnessed firsthand the profound impact she had on high school students. Her room was a sanctuary. Students knew that if they were having a rough day, they could walk in heavy-hearted and leave with a smile. She ran the Lasso Club with passion, bringing Latin dance and culture to life in our schools. She worked tirelessly during summer academy, supporting students from kindergarten through 12th grade. And when she took on the CPSE CSE chairperson role, she became a champion for students with special needs, ensuring they received the services and placements that allowed them to thrive. She ended her career where it all began, at Leaf Jackson, as the school psychologist for our youngest learners. Her joy was contagious, and the children reflected it right back. But what truly sets my mom apart is that she never saw any of it as work. She answered calls after hours, she stayed up late perfecting reports and IEPs, and offered guidance to worried parents. She gave her whole heart to this district and to every person who crossed her path. In June of 2023, she stepped away, not because she was ready to retire, but because she needed to take care of of her own mother, my abuela, who is now 95 years old. That act of love speaks volumes about the kind of person she is. And today, the town honors her legacy with a street sign bearing her name, a symbol of the countless lives she touched and the love she gave so freely. Mom, I hope you know how deeply you are loved and appreciated. Your legacy lives on in every student you helped, every colleague you inspired, and every child who smiled because of you. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you all for coming again. I knew my dad has the gift of gab, and I thought he was doing all this speaking, but I'm very happy to speak as well. Obviously, you all know that our last year has been insane. But one of the silver linings of all that has gone on is 1 year ago we were faced with tragedy, and what I keep saying is from that day on we were met with humanity, right? There were so many people that came out and helped us, and the community really showed. Greenberg and far and wide across the whole state, people were coming together to support us and tell us stories about my mom, my wife, how they had such profound impacts. How they had such profound impacts in all of their lives. Growing up in the school district here, going down the hallways, I was Francis, right? But I was also Millie's son. And my friends were also her friends, where they confided in her. And one thing my sister and I learned after all of this too, is that some of our friends confided in her as a best friend with stories that we had never even known, right? She provided them with, helped them get services. She helped them through tough tragedies in their own lives. She helped coach them along the way. She was just a friend, and she did her job as a school psychologist in a way that people didn't even realize that they were being helped by a professional, right? She was just a friend. She was someone that you could go down the hallway, sit on the couch, talk to, and maybe she kept working and they just had a friendly conversation, or it became more serious than that, and she just supported them in anything that they needed. She lived her life as if everyone was her family member. And I think everyone felt that. To the point where even parents and teachers would come up to us afterwards and say, yeah, she was my psychologist. She was the person I spoke to. And I think many of the people in the crowd here today probably feel that as well. As a mom, you can imagine you couldn't get any better. And the one thing that I think I want to talk about is even more so than her professional titles and all the different roles she fulfilled within the district, she was the best giver of hugs. And I'm sure all of you have probably felt it before. So I think this sign here serves as a great legacy of hers. People walking down the street or driving down to school here, one of the first schools you enter in this school district, they'll realize that this town is filled with love. It's filled with people with compassion. And this crowd here in the school district is filled with more people like her. And her legacy and her compassion, I'm sure, has spread across the masses, right? And it teaches people how you can be here, how you can fulfill those roles and support others in just such a loving way. So I thank you all for coming, and I'm excited to see this sign.
Imagine if he knew he had to give a speech. Do you have George? So this morning, we went to a service that was in Millie and Diana's name at 7 o'clock in the morning. And then we went to the accident scene at 9:02. And then when I got home, I got a text message of Congressman George Latimer on the floor of the House of Representatives, talking about Millie Ortiz Sheehan and putting into the congressional record a little bit about her legacy. That was the start of our day. And it meant so much. He can't be here today, but I understand he wants to say something using technology.
Using technology. George, you're on.
Thanks very much. And Francis, all of the people that are there, both from the Sheehan family and from the Greenberg family. I had the opportunity to share some thoughts on the floor of the House today. It's a video for those of you to see. Most of us live our lives with family, with friends, co-workers, and neighbors, and we're scarcely recognized for who we really were. A few are famous forever: Franklin, Edison, Washington, Lincoln. You know, it's a shame that we cannot and do not recognize those who give us so much but never break through to that level of media attention. But today, tonight, for Millie Ortiz Sheehan, that changes. Today, tonight, we tell the world that yes, she lived, and she loved, and was loved, and she cared about her neighbors in the community, and she showed that by her everyday contributions. Whenever I pass this corner, whenever you pass this corner, we'll remember the circumstances of her life, not her death. And maybe more than a few will see the sign and wonder who she is and decide to learn more about her. In those moments with this sign, Millie will be alive and among us again. And all will be better for that memory. God bless you all. God bless Millie, Francis, and the family. I'm sorry I can't be there, but I'm there in spirit.
Thank you, George.
Thank you.
Thank you, folks.
You're right, Gina.
Hi, are you ready to speak? Okay, I'm going to put you on speaker now.
Good evening, everyone. I am so sorry I couldn't be there.
You must have a second device on, Gina.
I do. I'm trying to put it on mute. Okay. I just want to just thank the community for really coming out and supporting this family. I had the great pleasure of getting to know Millie 6 years ago, working alongside Francis. And I don't know how she did it for all the years that she was with him.
All right, that's enough.
Sorry.
There's a communication problem here.
I apologize. No, but I'm just so glad that personally for me, I get to see Millie's name every day when I go home. And what she has touched not only to her family, but what she has given to the whole community. I don't know anyone who has done that better than she has. So I'm very grateful to have the opportunity to really get to know Millie. I'm so glad that the Sheehans really call me family, because we have really have endured something that I don't think anyone could ever describe. But I love you guys. I'm so glad that I was able to be here. I'm sorry I wasn't in person, but I've been with you all day, and know that I'm continuing to be here. And thank you, everyone, for coming out. We will continue to keep everyone in our prayers. Thank you.
Thank you. You wanted to say something? I think at this moment, if we just want to basically have an open mic for anyone who wants to speak. I know the principal of Lee F. Jackson, Patricia Simone, wanted to say something.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I was not prepared to speak on this wonderful evening in dedication of Millie. She was very dear to my heart. I've known her for over 20 years. At this time, on behalf of the Lee F. Jackson family, Millie was part of our family. She was not a colleague. She came to work every day. Her door was always open. Many of our colleagues that are here would visit her just to share some of their family memories. So at this time, I would like to invite everyone that is part of the Lee F. Jackson and Greenberg School District to stand behind me, because I know Millie's looking over us, and I would like for her to shine her light over us. She's worked with so many people over the years, and this is such a wonderful dedication that we enter our school district in memory of Millie. So, we are here, and I know Millie is blessing us as we are standing strong. And her memory will continue to grow on. Just like Francis said, she will live in our hearts in our school district forever.
You know, we talk about families and we talk about extended families. In Millie's case, extended family basically means anyone who met her.
Yes.
Because to know Millie is to love Millie. Because when you were speaking to Millie, she was speaking to you, and there was nobody else in the room that mattered. It was totally focused on the person who's speaking to her. And she would come home, whether or not she was working at the high school or whether or not she was working at Lee F. Jackson, she would always come home talking about the collaboration that it takes. No one person can educate a child. And we heard it takes a village, but it takes a community inside a school working together and helping each other to help the children. And Millie was instrumental in doing that. I'm so glad, and I know Millie would be so glad to have all of you here today as part of this, And we can't thank you enough. And I know we've all hugged and, over the last year or so, and we really appreciate it. We live on that. I keep saying that my heart is forever broken, but all of you keep it held together. And it means a lot. You have no idea. Whatever you think you did to help us, you have no idea the intensity of that impact has had on us. Because there's no other way to make it through the tragedy that happened to both my wife and my son's wife, my Nana, grandmother of 4, mother of 2, wife of 1. That wife of 1 we hear, wife of 1 is Francis, come on. All right, I thank you all, and I thank you. Would there anybody else who would like to speak before we do the signs?
I would.
Absolutely. Just identify yourself.
My name is Nela Ordonez, and I'm retiree from. Okay. My name is Nela Ordonez, and I'm former retiree from Greenberg 7. I met Millie, like Francis said, in 1993, and we worked together like a sister in the neighborhood all the time. We call, doesn't matter what time, a child have a problem, because why? My specialization was special needs children. Children with all kinds of disabilities. For Millie and I, it was not different. Children are children, students were students, and they need the right to learn. Just provide the environment and the support, and they will succeed. And that was Millie's idea, and I supported all the time. So we worked together at high school. Then she moved to Jackson. We worked together at Arjabelli School when I was a Spanish teacher. Then I moved to middle school. Millie was right there. We worked together my last 5 years before I retired. And then Millie was, for one entire year, a administrator for a special ed department. I meet Millie right there. Every meeting, every child situation, we were together. Unfortunately, we lost her too soon. We had so many plans after she retired because I retired before her, but it didn't come true all those dreams that we had together. I visited her home when was renewed 2 times. Ironically, now that she's gone, this is my 6th time I visit her house, right, Francis?
In 1 year.
In 1 year. So I know Christina. I went to her wedding, to her baby shower, and then for some reason people disappear, have their own life. And I haven't seen Christina for a while. And one day at Chinese restaurant in Scarsdale, I see Millie and Christina with 2 boys and 1 baby in the car. I said, Christina, what happened? Where were you? And where I was there, I didn't know about the
She
third
was
child.
busy.
She was busy, and we were busy.
She was having children.
So, like I said, Millie and I will be friends, will be colleagues, will be mothers. Why? She for friends, me for my husband Lizardo. We are mothers, grandmothers, and the best of best is we're going to be friends forever. So, en Spanish, amigas para siempre.
So we're going to be losing daylight, so that is a factor that we have to take into consideration here. If anybody has anything brief that they would like to say?
I would.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Valerie D. Williams, and I had the privilege of working with Millie Ortiz Sheehan since 1998. We worked together at Highview School. We worked together at Woodlands Middle and High School, and we worked at Lee F. Jackson School, and we sheltered each other through COVID. And also, Millie was just such a dear friend, and Millie and Diana are sorely missed. And Millie always talked about Diana. She talked about Francis, her husband. She talked about Christine, and also her grandchildren. She loved her family, and she also loved her extended family, the community. And she also advocated for all of us as a GTF union building representative. She'll be sorely missed, but her legacy will live on.
Thank you.
Hi, I'll be fast, but I wanted to say I met Millie in this at a budget meeting here in 1995, and the same week I met Francis at the town, and I went up to him so excited. I said, "You know, I met your wife." He said, "Oh, she does school, I do town." He didn't say, and she does the shopping and the food and everything else, which she does. But I think we would all. My husband and I have knew Francis and Millie for all these years. And we would be making a big mistake if we didn't recognize that that was one hell of a marriage. They were what you dream of having. And I'm amazed that he's made it this year, because I wouldn't have necessarily bet on that. It is all due to everybody, but it's due to these people here. I'm watching the children run around thinking, thank God. They are so sweet and so funny and so distracting. But that marriage is what made this. Thank you.
You're losing light, right, Terrence? Yeah. So I think we need to do the unveiling, and then if anybody has anybody else to say, we can continue after that. What is that? Oh, what do you know? What do you know? Our Commissioner of Parks and Recreation comes prepared. And it's reflective, it helps. So, before we actually unveil this, I just want to recognize, so everyone knows who is responsible if this does not get unveiled and the string just pulls off. Frank Morabito, where are you?
He looks like he has backup for it.
Right. So I think it would be nice if the grandchildren,
Yes!
if the grandchildren, is the string long enough? Yeah, close enough.
Go, go, go.
So
Hold this way, guys. Like
this
towards
way.
the-
Walk that way.
Wait.
So you want
Hold
to
it,
walk
hold it.
this way. Frank Morabito. Wow. Does it read that way on this side too? Right. What's that? This is it. This is exactly it. And it's very intentional that very close to Millie's sign is the direction to Lee F. Jackson. That was not a coincidence. That was planned. It was on a separate sign over here. And we wanted it to make sure that the linkage is with Millie and the school district. And that'll be forever. So now we're going to go over to the other one and do the same thing.
Our broken and yet full hearts, and to honor this wonderful and beautiful and blessed space, I wonder if you would just pause with me and enter into a moment of prayer. Gracious and loving God, our God who loves us all, our God of many names, we have been shown the true light of your love in the lives of Millie and Diana. Their family is the strongest family I've ever encountered in my life, and I'm just grateful that you hold them up, God, and that you are there to continue to protect and guard them. Bless this holy and sacred place where we can remember somebody who made such an impact in this community and on these schools. And we're just grateful that memories last and that these names will never be forgotten. We pray all of these things in the one who loves us all equally. Amen.